Good evening. We're going to call the Tuesday, March 10th Transportation Committee meeting to order. Roll call, let it know that Mr. Oliver Joseph is absent. Mr. Brian, Councilman Brian Malone is going to lead us in invocation, followed by the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this great day for us to come together and discuss these issues. Lord, we just ask that you keep everyone safe on the roads today with the rain and the inclement weather. And we just ask that you just guide our discussion, guide the minds of these committee members as they make decisions for our roads and try to bring us further into the future. We just thank you and praise you in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brian. Public comment period. Anyone wanting to speak on an agenda item, please sign in. You got 3 minutes to speak. Before we go any further, I want to add something to the agenda. We have a change order that I want to move to 6A. I think Jason's going to talk about it when we get to that. It's not but $232 on the 2013 road project.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Mr. Lohr, second by Mr. Lambert. Any discussion? So moved. We'll put that at 6A. Chairman's report, I have none. Road Department monthly report for February 2015. Thomas Pierce.
Okay, good evening. For February, we had a total of 2.6 tons of recycled materials that were collected at the monthly road show held in at Walmart and Prairieville. So far this year, that is the total 2.56 tons. We have a total of 5.26 tons of recyclable materials that were collected at the DPW drop-off in the month of February for a yearly total of 15.22 tons. The total year-to-date recyclables from the road show and DPW are 17.78 tons. Regarding the DPW work orders, ditches and culverts, we have had a total of 340 work orders. We 5,138 feet of ditches were cleaned. 986 feet of culverts were blown out. For the lot violations process, there were no lot violations reported in February. And under the litters process, there were 3 litter investigations. 2 were cleared by the owner and 1 is pending. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Moose. Ms. Terry, any questions? Mr. Pierce?
Not at the moment.
Mr. Lambert?
Chairman, Mr. Pierce, with the rain and stuff today, we on top of the drainage with the culverts and stuff, as far as getting a bunch of the cross drains cleared. They had a lot of debris on a couple of them that I called in.
Right, we raking out, we send guys out there to rake out the ditches for the leaves that kind of build up there, and we do some work that's possible in this inclement weather. And we have, in addition to that, we've been sending some people to Lamar Dixon to do some sandbagging for the future. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Lohr?
I don't have anything.
Ms. Terry?
Yeah, Moose, I'd like to have you clarify. These folks are sandbagging for what might be future use during later seasons. We're not talking about we're expecting so much rain right now that we would be, just for clarification.
Right,
I don't
right.
want people to think we're thinking we're going to get so much rain, we're going to be sandbagging.
No, that's just,
Building inventory.
yeah, that's just right, building inventory.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
Kind of staying ahead of the game, you know.
Sure.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to number 6, the road project status report. Mr. Jason Taylor?
Good evening.
Parish projects total approximately $34.2 million. The Church Point and Roddy Roundabout is going through the slow process of property acquisition. One that's not on here that needs to be put back on here, we had a meeting with DOTD with regard to getting additional funding for 929 and Parker Roundabout. That meeting looks like it went pretty well, so I'll let you know more about that next time whenever we get some clarification from DOTD. The 2013 road maintenance package, we're approximately 40% done with that package as far as overlaying the roads. We've addressed with the contractor on some cleanliness issues and shoulder dress up. If y'all have had some complaints, which a couple of y'all have called me on that. They are working on that today. Since it's a rain day, they're working on that today. 2015 road maintenance package, we are basically have that designed. We're doing some cleanup on the bid paperwork, and hopefully we'll have that advertised within a week. Takes a minimum of 25 working days to go through a public works bid process, so you can look at anywhere from 30 to 45 days before we can get to an actual bid opening. Just to let you know how long that takes, and that's a hardwired process. That's state law, so has to take that long. The parish wide horizontal curve sign upgrades. We're getting we're going to place those signs as soon as possible. Highway 42 sewer improvements. Estimated completion date on that is June 26th of 2015. Highway 73 sewer improvements. They're in the final testing phase of that sewer system. The base asphalt course is complete. They have at least 2 more asphalt courses to go. The new project completion estimation date is May 31st, 2015. St. Landry Edenborn Connector. The 100% plans have been submitted. We're still awaiting environmental clearance, and we still expect it this month. I'll let you know next month whether or not that happened, but we still expect it this month. The Roddy Road intersection improvements, the roundabouts that they came in and talked to us about, they're still in design on that. They had 365 days to do this entire project, so they're still modeling and doing some preliminary work before they get to their report. For state projects, we have approximately $81.4 million worth of projects. The LA 30 mill and overlay is 75% complete. The raised islands are being installed in the center turn lane, and they are currently completing shoulder work. They estimate this to be complete on the 20th of this month. LA 3251 and 1003, this is pretty much done. They're just doing cleanup work right now. 431 intersection improvements. They're still working on the finalization of signalization work. I didn't update the completion date. Sorry about that. We talked about the 42 widening project, the 42 boat launch. The cofferdam is installed. The demolition of the existing boat launch is complete, and they're expecting this to be completed by May 1st, just in time for boating season. LA 73 widening from I-10 to Airline Highway, we've talked about that. LA 431 Gold Place turn lanes, that is in design. They should be submitting 60% plans within the next month. LA 3089 traffic signal upgrades, 65% complete, and they're estimating that to be completed at the end of the month. LA 44 and 934 intersection improvements, the contract execution has happened, and they are currently doing utility relocates. This is one that the LA 935 elevation and drainage upgrade. They're in assembly period, and they expect completion by May 8th of 2015. They're raising 935 approximately 2 feet in the areas where it floods around Black Bayou. This one, I didn't know about it until it hit my report. That concludes my report, and any questions?
Mr. Moore?
Thank you, Todd. Jason, I was one of those ones that, as you know, complained about, or had some complaints about some of the cleanup on the side. I appreciate you working with the contractor on that. Question, Manchac Acres I got recently was about the striping. Do you know when that's scheduled to be done?
I'm working with the contractor on getting some temporary striping down. We're talking to them today about that, actually.
Okay, great, thanks.
Ms. Castle?
Let's revisit Highway 73 and tell me again, are we on target to complete on May 31st of 2015? I want to put on my calendar the ribbon cutting. Come on, Jason, help me.
If you want to go ahead.
We had a coordination meeting with the DOTD this past week and went over all of their projects that they have going on within the parish. And out of that came the fact that, yes, their completion date at this point in time is May 31st. I'm with you. I'm putting it on my calendar.
Yes, indeed.
3.5 years?
And just, if you want me to, I appreciate that invite too. I was in that meeting with them. And I guess the best thing about this, that Airline Highway, you're gonna have, 2 left-hand lanes that you'll be able to get on the Airline Highway going back to Baton Rouge. And you'll have your single right-hand lane going back to, Gonzales. So, a lot of good stuff come out of that meeting, and, a lot of stuff on our wish list that we've had for quite some time. It looked like it might come to a head very soon, and appreciate all the information on that. The only thing I had on the roundabouts, Jason's, were they have the counters out now on this. Exactly what stage are they in on the roundabouts?
For
The 10?
Roddy? Or
Yeah.
for the 10, they're still modeling it. So they do existing conditions, and then they do future conditions, and then model it as a signal, as a roundabout, as a stop sign, all the stuff that you have to do. So they're finishing up the future models and alternates to try to prove that the roundabout is the best way to go, or not.
Have you had any feedback yet?
From
Or let's face it, all of these intersections are not gonna make a roundabout. Have they give you any indications which ones might make it or not?
No, not at all. It is a parish road, so we have feedback on whether or not that we want them to make them roundabouts, but we haven't had feedback on the results of the study yet, because they're not done with them. So we'll get a report, be invited to a report. I'll try to make sure that you're invited to that if you'd like.
Yeah.
And they will tell us what they found and what their recommendations are. But we have not gotten that yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's just anything we can do to rush this up. It runs through several districts, and we need some answers on this quick. Thank you.
I want to be on that meeting too, Jason, when you.
Yes, sir.
And I guess the big question, this is just a study. We don't have funding for these projects, correct?
No, sir, but what helps is the study was initiated by DOTD, so they
Right.
recognize the need, they recognize the safety improvement need, and generally when DOTD starts a study like that, they will fund the projects over a certain amount of time.
Okay. Ms. Terry, I think you had something?
Yes, with your permission, I'd like to address an issue that's not on here. I spoke with Connie Betts at DOTD today, who's handling a study on Highway 73, and in order for us to all know what we're talking about and my constituents to know that we're working toward this, I'd like to share with Jason what she told me. Thank you, sir. Connie Betts is the project manager on a study study of Highway 73 between, in front of Dutchtown.
Right,
High
those are the,
school.
those are the
We'll-
roundabouts they're doing,
Well,
or possibly?
please don't say that out loud. Because I said to her, look, don't give me something the public will not buy. You've got to give me something that will fix this corridor, that our citizens can believe in. I mean, and she assured me that the scope of this study in its initial phase was not sufficient to solve the problem. They could not find a way, literally.
Right,
And so she said, we have expanded the scope, which means this study's going to take quite a bit longer, but she
Right.
still said before the end of the year. And that having expanded the scope to include the interstate, which we all know is where the first of the bottleneck starts, then they will also be studying how access to the interstate might be improved so that any fix done along in front of the school works.
right.
I also advised her that it was my understanding that the school had purchased property for an exit outside to the back on 74.
That is correct.
She was not aware of that. And so she was going to add that to the discussion that they would be having with the school board at some point in the process of this study. I don't know how we have the left hand know what the right hand's doing. It would seem to me that DOTD needed to know that the school board was considering putting an exit.
They have been notified,
Have
but
they?
it was through the district, not
Okay, very good.
not through headquarters. So it hasn't filtered up through the district,
Just
through to headquarters.
Okay, I see. So of course, my anxiety is that this is just in the study phase. And she's assuring me that we'll have some kind of report at the end of the year. But at that point, they also will include some public meetings, which I think is wonderful.
Mandatory.
Absolutely. But I want to know how we keep communicating about this project, because it is so important to my district that there be a solution to the issue on Highway 73, between Highway 74 and the interstate. It is at a crisis, and we need to communicate about it.
I assume that you're wanting to expedite this as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible.
The only way to do that is to actually get their results, pay for the design for whatever they're suggesting, and then put it into the DOTD system after you do that.
So what's it going to take for me to get that done? Advice.
I don't know what they're going to suggest as far as what they're going to design. If it's a new 5-lane highway with elevated interchanges, you're looking at $60-70 million. So that would be a $6 million design. So it would take money and
Yeah,
a
I
willingness to
doubt
do
that
it.
they go to that.
But it's 10% of whatever the cost is going to be, roughly.
So it'll be 10% of whatever the cost is for design.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Dawson wants to.
Oh, well, no, you can finish that. Go ahead and finish.
I'm done.
Oh,
I'm
you're
done. Mr. Dawson?
Yeah, thank you, thanks. Mr. Chairman, just to, and Ms. Castro, to even help, I think that we are starting some incredible dialogue with the MPO. And we've had Jamie set over here, I think he's come 3 times, you know, since he's been here. We had, and he's coming next month, he's coming to this committee next month to discuss some things. And if you like, we can add some discussion about that corridor and see if he has some ideas. But even the conversation we've had with the MPO of what we can utilize that process to improve projects going in, along with DOTD, because he has a lot of conversations with DOTD. And he's done an excellent job of reaching out to the parish to talk about potential projects and what our needs are and what we want. So I think that one thing that has aided what we've been doing and will continue to aid is the conversation we've had with the MPO, and Jamie being here numerous of times. He's coming again. He's had lunch and learns in this room where we had all the engineering staff in there talking about what they can do, what are the possibilities, and this has just helped us considerably. So I think that with that we see going on now, that you're going to see that the information going up will probably go up more efficiently, more effectively, and get to the people that's needed. And we would like to invite any of you to come to any of those lunch and learns and meetings that we have with the MPO and Jamie as he comes in.
I've been not, thank you, Ken. I know Jamie well, and in fact, I know he's got a new baby, and I'll babysit if you'll, I don't babysit for anybody. I mean, whatever we need to do to expedite this kind of project that really will make a difference for the people who live in District 8 and District 4 and Travis's district. I mean, this is an area that is just so congested. I met with the sheriff today. He is looking into how the school is being dismissed and what the process is for getting cars out of there to make sure we have correct work being done there, that we've got a ratio of cars out of the school to cars being transferred on 73 that's correct.
Yes.
I mean, I'm getting calls almost every day from folks who say, look, I mean, those kids don't have anywhere to go. And I'm sitting waiting for them to get out of school. So they're going home to watch video games, according to my constituent. I don't know that that's necessarily true, but that's what the people who are trying to get home from work or get to work think about that corridor. So I appreciate anything we can do to stay on top of that, and it's certainly going to be my priority as we move forward, knowing now that we have some study going on.
Mr. Bryan, Councilman Malonzo.
Mr. Terry, did they mention, 'cause I think it would help a lot, it actually is right in both of our district, but
Yes.
the interchange on 74 for the interstate would alleviate a lot of that pressure if people could get on there instead of having to turn on the 73. And studies have been done on that already, that it's been approved. I know Eddie pushed that through a lot, and it's just kind of sitting there waiting.
I
they
know
looking
that
at that
what
at all?
I am told at DOTD and at the MPO, particularly from Jamie Satz, is that an interchange at 74 is not going to happen.
Okay.
But I'm pushing, and I would appreciate your help.
Absolutely.
We can push to get an intersection at Cornerview, which basically has the same effect in that the plant traffic turns,
Absolutely.
goes to the interstate at Cornerview, gets on, goes north or south, and the corridor at 74 has all less of that plant traffic. There's some
I can
other
get help on that for
discussion
sure.
about the fact that there's a direct route from 30 to Cornerview that's still not built upon, that would allow for an access to the interstate at Cornerview. So I think we just need to pull it together as a council and as a transportation committee and really start pushing to get some of this done in our lifetime.
We have more questions?
We have 6A too.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on to that one.
One more thing.
Mr. Law?
Jason, I'm sorry. On 42, how is that, the utilities? I think you touched on it briefly already, but I was looking at something else. The utilities project, everything's on track. We're still good there?
Yeah, we're still working with the utilities issue on 42, so it seems to be very much on track, Councilman. The design's on track. We constantly talking with DOTD. They make sure, in fact, last week I had a meeting with DHH to inform them of where we are. So we are on track. As you know, that the addition of the 4040 Muddy Creek was a piece of design that was not really designed initially, so we're having to go back out and get that design and get that into the system. But based on the schedule that we're working with and and discussing with DOTD, we should be okay for the letting process, and we don't expect anything holding it up at this point.
Okay, thank you.
We'll move on to 6A, which is a change order number 1 on the 2013 road maintenance project. Mr. Jason Tell.
This is a change order for the road maintenance package. The justification for these was, or what we did on this was installed some culverts and had to do some additional treatments on the roads to allow for better stabilization that wasn't called for in the plans.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Ms. Terry Casso. Any discussion? Any opposition? So moved. Thank you. We'll move on to number 7, approval of 2015 mowing litter agreement agreement between Ascension Parish and DOTD. Thomas Pierce.
Yeah, this is just our annual approval of the mooring and litter agreement in the parish that we have with DOTD on the state roads.
And I think you said nothing has changed, same amount and
Yeah, same amount.
same contract.
Right.
So move, Mr.
Have a
Chairman.
motion? Got a
Second.
motion by Mr. Dempsey Lambert, second by Ms. Terry. Any discussion? So move. That, we'll move on to number 8, placement of hearing impaired signage on Galaxy Boulevard. Mr. Thomas Pierce.
Yeah, this is just a request by a resident and by a council member in that area, Mr. Turner, to place a hearing impaired sign on Galaxy Boulevard about Midway.
So moved.
Got a motion by Mr. Chris Laurel,
Second.
second by Ms. Terry. Any discussion? So move. Move on to number
Move to
9.
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Dempsey, second by Chris. Meeting adjourned.